Hi, Maria Carolina. So we've got another set of essays. Let's take a look at what you wrote here. This is the one about expensive weddings. Here's what you said. People throughout the world have debated whether the advantages of spending thousands of dollars, we don't spend thousands of money because it's uncountable, thousands of dollars on weddings outweigh the drawbacks. This essay will discuss both views using examples from the Brazilian government and the University of Brasilia to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, but you never answered the question. You just said you're going to discuss both views, but it didn't ask you to do that. It asked you to take a position and say if the benefits are more than the drawbacks. Okay, so you have to do this in order to be considered for a band 7. Okay, moving on. There is ample evidence that Western society values weddings, and couples usually spend thousands of dollars throwing huge parties. This is because couples want to show their love to each other and celebrate the important moment, having fun, drinking, eating, and dancing. For example, recent empirical research by the Brazilian government demonstrated that Brazilian, capital B, citizens consider their wedding day to be the most important day in their entire lives. It must not be forgotten that weddings are the perfect moment to reunite family and friends during one or more days in order to celebrate love. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that there is a considerably strong case to be made in favor of spending money on weddings to celebrate love, have fun, and reunite friends and family. Okay, my concern here is that you're essentially talking to me about why people make a big deal about weddings. What you didn't really express to me is why spending a lot of money is necessary for this, okay? So, and not only why is spending a lot of money necessary, but more importantly, what is the benefit of this? So I felt like you were talking to me about the reasons and not so much the benefits that occur. Remember, that is what you were supposed to be talking about here, the benefits of spending money. So if you could have somehow told me that, you know, it's impossible to reunite family and friends without spending a lot of money, then I would say, okay, fine, we'll prove that. But that's the way you should be looking at this, okay? Benefits of this expense. Let's move on. Although there is a case for throwing a huge wedding party, it is surprising couples do not use this money to pay for other expenses such as traveling or buying a house. This is largely because other experiences can have a greater impact on people's lives. I don't understand this. It's surprising they don't spend this money on other things, and it's because these experiences can have a greater... I'm confused here with what you're trying to say. I think I know what you're trying to say, but I think you've made a mistake in expressing it, and so it creates some incoherence. For instance, an extensive study conducted at the University of Brasilia showed that the most satisfying experience people have nowadays traveling, consistent with this line of thinking, is that having a place where the couple can feel comfortable living is also rather essential. It should be a priority in their lives. As a result, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the largest drawback for spending thousands of dollars, again, or euro or whatever, or just lots of money, or large sums of money, you could have said, is that they cannot pay for other more relevant expenses. All right. Now, here's the problem with this paragraph. You went about it in the opposite way you should have. In other words, you have to explain to me first what the drawback is and then go into all that detail. But you went the other way around. You went to all this detail about where people should be spending their money, where people should be spending their money, where they should be spending their money. And then at the end you said, see, by spending all their money on this, they can't, by spending all their money on the weddings, they can't spend money on other important things. So this was the wrong way to go about this. You're supposed to be talking about the drawbacks for spending money on weddings, and then, because that's your central idea, and then you can go into all this detail. So, for example, although there is a case for spending a huge wedding party or a huge wedding celebration, the result of this is that people don't have the opportunity to pay for other things that would make their life have more quality or bring them greater quality of life. For example, because of such expense, they cannot purchase a home or they cannot travel, and then you can develop those things. Remember, you're supposed to talk about multiple drawbacks here because it says disadvantages, just as this says benefits. So that means you have to at least talk about at least 2, if not more, benefits and disadvantages, okay? Let's look at your conclusion. In light of the reasons mentioned above, I firmly believe that the advantages of spending huge amounts of money on weddings are significant. Nevertheless, couples should first worry about spending their money on traveling and having a comfortable place to live. In the modern Western society, the majority of couples do not fulfill this criteria. It's not criteria. Careful. It's a different word. Therefore, the cons are greater than the pros. Okay, that's fine. I think I have been pretty clear about what the problems with this essay are. For me, they definitely fall under task achievement. The good news is that your structure is very good. Your grammar is very good. The vocabulary was fine. So in those respects, this is a good essay, but we absolutely have to work on your task achievement to make sure that you are answering the question that they have asked you, okay, and that you're developing it appropriately. So other than that, good job. Let's take a look at this task 1. The pie chart illustrates the percentage of 7 different subjects' popularity among students in Germany during the year 2017. Get rid of that of. Physical education, history, maths, and physics were the most you don't need the most favorite. You could have just said the favorite subjects and represented over 80% of the students' preferences. The majority of students preferred physical education, which represented 22.9%. Physical education was followed by history, which showed almost the same proportion of popularity, with a percentage of 22.4%. Maths and physics also had practically identical popularity, 19.5 and 18.1 respectively. Well, those aren't really identical, are they? There's a good 1.5% difference between them. So I wouldn't say identical. I would say similar popularity. Biology, geography, and IT were the least popular subjects among German students. Capitalize this G. The percentage of students who enjoyed biology was double that of IT. Okay. Biology's percentage was 7.1, while IT's percentage was 3.7. You have to be careful here because you're using this structure with an apostrophe S after biology and after IT, but we usually only do this for animate objects, so living things, and not a subject. Usually we would say the percentage of biology. All right, that would be a more appropriate thing to say here. Okay. Geographies, again, here, the popularity of geography was 1/3 that of physics. Only 6.4% of German students were interested in the subject. Fine. Overall, physical education and history were the most popular subjects among German students over the period given, whereas IT and geography were the least popular subjects. All right, this was very good. I like this. Clear, accurate grammar, good vocabulary, no problems at all. Just that little thing with the apostrophe S. It's a minor problem, really, just a grammatical thing that's not too serious. So this is a nice task. Task 1, I enjoyed it. Let me just check your word count. It looks like it's okay. Yeah, it is. It's 157. So you're fine. It was well done. I always find these where you have very few things to talk about more challenging than the ones where you have a lot of things to talk about, but you dealt with it appropriately. So well done here, okay? Go ahead, Maria Carolina, and correct these, return them back corrected, and let's see your next set of essays. Good luck with them.